Good evening, America. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Y'all come on in, tune in, catch us right here. We got a special edition tonight. We're going to be talking politics a little bit, local politics here in Savannah, Georgia, and we're wondering what the hell is going on. We don't know what is going on with this mayor. We don't know what is going on with what the things that he said. So we're gonna have some people that know him well, went to college with him, that Mike can give us some insight on what is going on. What is going on? Our guests tonight, we have three guests, but two of them are here already. We're waiting on the good Reverend Dr. Smalls, but Dr. Jamal Toure is in the house, and Sandra Mckeithen is in the house, and we're going to have them. Both of them are college friends of Vane. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to let the good doctor open up with. No, what I'll do is I'll play the video for people to see first, and then you all can expound on whatever you want to expound. We got a couple of people watching already. Okay, and all right. So great, Anna. We appreciate everything. Everybody tune on in. We're going to play this video real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Asian, but support the agenda to be able to address the issues that our community face. So what do we need a black people task force for? As a matter of fact, when you look at it, when you really look at it, look at it, if we were going to look at task forces for people who are marginalized or for minority communities, in Savannah, the minority community would actually be white. And so if I said, let's have a white task force, y'all would have a doggone fit. You know what? I got this. We're
good. That's your mayor, the mayor of Savannah. He's telling us that he got it. He dropped the mic. I guess he thought he dropped the mic. So, Brother Jamal, you're first up. Go ahead and tell us what you think and give us what your feelings are, my brother.
Okay, and I'm going to put this out here. I'm not here to explain the mayor at all. I'm not here to explain the mayor's perspective at all. On what he shared. I'm here to give my perspective and give this perspective of other people with regard to some of this. And so I'm put it out here and say to y'all that the mayor is my brother. The mayor is my friend. Now, how some of his groupies and others and political groupies just in general, how they might try to plant seeds of dissension based on things that I say, that's on them. But again, I'm going to say that the mayor is my friend and just put it out there. I voted for the mayor. Do I regret voting for the mayor? No, I don't regret voting for the mayor. I don't regret that at all. But now I'm going to share this with you all. And what I'm saying to y'all is not anything that's different from what I've shared with other groups of people and said this. And I've said this for some 30, 40 years. I have to first put it out here. Now, some other people might subscribe to something. That's you. But I'm giving you the facts and giving you the deal. I'll put it out there. Black folks cannot be racist. Now, some of you might subscribe to that, and you might get caught because it's an emotional thing when you start talking about racism. That Black folks cannot be racist. Racism involves the controlling of institutions where you are able to make yourself superior and make other people who are not like you inferior, and that it demeans the entire human spirit. That every aspect of life shows inequality on behalf of your group against the other group. So Black folks control no institutions in the society or in the Western world. So anyone that want to come running at me about Black folks being racist, I'm going to tell you right now, get out my face with that stupidity. So I'm putting it out there. Black folks cannot be racist, and it is not possible. Well, do they work for racist systems? Yes, they do. Do they participate in the system of racism? Yes, they do. They become puppets, or I tell folks, they become pit bulldogs for the system of oppression. And that's what happens. that some of us, when we're talking like this, we feel bad that when folks call you out and say that black folks are not racist and other people want to try to justify it, you are caught up into the system of oppression. Oppression does that. That's what happened with oppressors. Oppressors will try to make themselves seem like they are victims when the oppressed now begin to call them out and put it in their face. And so what I heard uttered was a part of that system of oppression that, again, you're going to victimize. And so something that was said that the minority group is Caucasians, but when you try to distinguish marginalized people, they are not marginalized here. So that's why I'm like, and so people, hear that and then they think, oh, they're marginalized and also minority. Absolutely a lie. Because if they were marginalized, guess what? Then we will see a difference with regards to home values in Caucasian communities like Ardsley Park compared to other black neighborhoods. We'll see a difference with regards to Highland Park as compared to, let's say, Cloverdale. That we'll see the difference. We'll see, again, a system that's in place manifesting that they have been marginalized. But guess what? What communities have been marginalized? And Brookings Institute put it out there. Brookings Institute did a study and listed areas of the country where you saw a disparity with regards to home values in black communities and Caucasian communities. And guess the communities that were in the top 5 essentially? You had in the top 5 Charleston, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Hilton Head Island, Bluffton, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. I said our areas. So marginalized, are they marginalized? No, they are not marginalized. For us to use language like that is incorrect and improper. Now, what is my job as a friend? My job as a friend is to put information out there that's correct. And if you are my friend, you're going to listen to me because, again, it's not anything personal. It's about us being better. Because just like if I'm wrong, Julius Hall will call me and correct me on it when I go and say Herschel V. Jenkins is the best high school in Savannah, Georgia. He calls me out and says it's Tompkins. I don't have no issue with that. I respect that. But when we go and give the impression that Caucasians are victims here, that is absolutely incorrect. And then I know that there are people out there who will parrot that, who will go and say that and give that wrong information. And then some of us hear it, and then we run with it, and then we all aid and abet the system of oppression that's already in place. No, that's why systematically, politically, economically, educationally, recreationally, socially, medically, religiously, financially, legally, psychologically, judicially, agriculturally, and environmentally, they don't have the disparities and issues that we have here across this entire nation. So, my brother Julius, this is not just an issue for Savannah, but this is an issue across the entire country when black folks now really got to stand up to the plate to now look out for them. And to have a black task force, guess what? I'm going to tell you, this goes back over 30 years. The state of Iowa had a commission on black folks in Iowa.
That's
Iowa had a commission.
That's facts. That's facts.
So they understand.
4%. 4% black. 4% black.
The state of Iowa have a commission. And so just as Rev called it out, that even he knows that. So now you're going to say, where people have been historically marginalized, you can't have a task force on that, but you can have these other task forces. I'm going to say that's a problem. And that's a system that, again, that is this concept of people who are oppressed when they don't understand their true power. So I'm going to start running my mouth because, this ain't run tell that because I felt it was run tell that for a second.
No. Well, Shaundra, what's your opinion? You've seen the video. What's your opinion?
I'm just disappointed, that Van, of all people, can know the situation. He's known the situation in Savannah for a long time, and he has known the statistics there, and he has been one of the people that has spoken out about the statistics of Black people, and he can get in office in the mayor's office, the position of the mayor, and then conveniently have amnesia to all of the conditions that he claimed you know, it was the reason why he ran for that office, you know, and I'm disappointed in the people that are sitting beside him, and allowing him to just, I mean, not putting him in check, you know. I mean, and a lot of these people are my friends, you know. Linda, she's my friend. Dietrich has been my friend for years, you know, and I am so disappointed in this administration because for once we thought that we were going to, we knew what the issues were, and we said, hey, we don't want it to be like it has been for the last 35 years that we sent you guys, you know, to office, and we had all of these black leaders, you know, supposedly, you know, representing our needs, the needs of the black community. We didn't say that we wanted you to represent the black community and disregard the white community.
Come on.
But we said that we wanted you to be inclusive of the black communities and feel our pain. And one of the pains that the black community has felt is the fact that, you know, we are the majority, but we have been treated like we have been the minority. You know, when we don't get half, we don't even have 1% of the contracts that come through the city or the county or the Board of Education, you know, and then they tell us that we're not qualified to get those contracts. Something's wrong. And then, I mean, and he has been one of the people that sat there and allowed these things to happen. I'm disappointed, you know, and somebody needs to, I mean, Toure, you know, congratulations if you check him, but the people that's sitting there voting with him need to check him. And we need to be the people that check them because we voted for them.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and yeah, I mean, I voted for Van, even though I had my reservations.
Me too.
I had,
and I begged you to,
big reservations, you know. But my friend Julius convinced me, you know, and I mean, I knew what we were getting when we had Eddie Deloach, because Eddie didn't owe us any alliance. Right. You know, he was in tune with Reed Delaney. But then we bought Van back in. We bought Van, and now we have the same old status quo going on. And we have the black elites, you know, and if that's what we want, is the black elites, the what's the guy's name that is the president of the Carver State Bank?
Bob James.
Bob James.
Bob James. Okay, if we want Bob James to be the pseudo mayor instead of Reed Delaney, okay, fine. But that's not, you know, if all of the people can't grow, what did we really do? Okay.
All right, let's get to
so I surrender my time to you, Pastor.
Girl, let me tell you something. You make a preacher want to say amen. I'm serious. You ain't. Oh, that was a sermon. Don't fool yourself now. When you tell the gospel truth, just a flat foot truth, the word gospel only means truth. That's all it really means. And
Right.
you were telling nothing but the truth. We have been bamboozled by one of us. Okay? While he was running, he said everything that was wrong that was supposed to be corrected. So we're not dealing with someone who is confused or unenlightened as to what the expectation was if he were elected by us. He knew enough to say it. He knew enough to codify it, to make it sound sweet, relevant, and right. He knew it. He knows what he's supposed to have done for the people that are African American. He knows. He ran for it, telling us what we needed to hear, what needed to be done, what was fair. And as soon as he got elected, now you got to understand something. How far I go back. I go back so far that I was arguing when they made the first 2 at-large posts in order for the whites to maintain strength on council. Other than that, it would have been 4 and 4. But they made 2 at-large seats. So that made it 3 and 3 with 2 more whites at large, which took them to 6 with the mayor. Now watch this. I told them standing in the well that day, I said, this is going to come back to haunt you because one day we're going to have 7 blacks and 2 whites, and you're going to protest it. You're going to say it was unfair. The blacks are taking over, and you're going to take us to court, but they don't have to take us to court. They don't have to take us to court because we don't have 7 blacks. We got 4. No, we got 4. We ain't got 7 blacks. We got 7. We got 7 people with darker skin up there, but we only have 4 blacks. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what God loves, because just because you're African American, and I'm not saying to be unfair to white folk, that's never our cause. Our cause is for equity. We're not saying white people don't matter. We're saying y'all are functioning as if black people don't matter. So we want to matter like you matter. The term Black Lives Matter is an affirmative action for neglect that took place over centuries. Now, anybody would tell you, just think about this. We've got John McMasters here making a comment. Why would I feel better? And this is a sad statement. Right now, today, John McMasters is blacker than Van Johnson. No, I'm gonna tell you what God. See, you can't play me close. You can't do nothing to me. I don't want nothing you got. You done fool around and mess around and let me catch. So I don't need you for anything. I don't have to borrow no money from folks. I ain't trying to get no loans. My credit rating is 800 and some change. I don't need you. If I wanted to buy credit, but I don't even use credit no more. I buy stuff cash, everything I buy a radio station, a check. Now, God's been that good to me. But you know what he did? He didn't do it so I can brag and tell you what I got. He did it so I can brag and tell you what I'm going to do if y'all don't do my people right. That's what this is for. That's what the freedom, that's what the economic parity gives you. That's why they're mad with Keisha in Atlanta. That's why they're mad with all these black mayors in these, because those black folks who have become mayors were already millionaires. And so they can't buy them because they're not for sale. But Van is obviously still of a mind that he's got to get it from the white folks. And he's tricked Linda and Dietrich into going along with that foolishness. There have always been a few blacks who was going to carry the white man's water if it had poison in it and bring it to us. And that's what's going on now. There is no black agenda. They had a big old flag in City Hall with a rainbow on it. for the homosexual agenda. We haven't had a button, a pin, a placard, a bumper sticker, or nothing from our mayor in a city that's 55% black that said Black Lives Matter. I don't think I've heard him utter the statement or even tout the movement ever. The only thing I heard him say about Black Lives Matter was, we ain't gonna let them get out of control in Savannah. That was it. So here's the deal. And I said this on my show earlier. Linda and Dietrich and Julius and Alicia and I sat in bonds and planned for them to get on council. Now make sure you hear me. I said then, I got a living witness right here looking at us right now, Julius. I said then who was going to win and who was going to lose.
You did.
And I'm telling you now, Dietrich cannot win a seat on council if he had a ticket to buy one. It's not going to happen. That's over. Linda, I wanted them to come in and let's try to get it worked out. We ain't doing that no more. That part's over. They're voting. We got a click on council. We have a click on council. We have a click on council. And if you went up there on my strength and helping me helping you and standing next to you, I don't never lie to Savannah. I don't never lie to people. I don't never lie to my church. When me and Dr. Toure, when we were falling out, we look straight in each other's face and say, I think you're wrong on this, I think you're wrong. But we were men. We have argued. Me and Julius argue. Fuss about this, that, and other. But we're men. That thing he did yesterday, that wasn't no manly thing. That wasn't manly. I don't know what that was. That was the overseer saying, listen, boss, I got the whip. I'll make them do right.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
I got this.
Exactly.
We got
exactly.
Boss, you stay up at the big house.
I'll take care of these
I'll make these niggas do right. Boss, you ain't got to come down in that field. It's hot out there.
Yeah.
How we feeling today, boss? That's their response.
Am
I mad? Am I mad? You bet your what?
Yes, sir.
Man,
we all are mad because we know we had a part in it. All of us did, especially the three of us up there. I had to convince Shaundra, but the three of us had a part in it. We got one of his class buddies on the phone. Caller, you're on the air. We're going to try to keep it to at least a minute and a half. If you don't mind making your statement, a minute and a half, and then you can ask a question before you go off.
I think it less and less. This is not your history. I've been saying this for years, but this is actually a good thing because black people in Savannah, just like everywhere else, have got to be able to hold each other accountable, to lift each other up when necessary, and to pull each other's coat or pull some down when necessary. And that is the decision that the black community has before it now. And I was going to ask what's being planned, but in listening, I see what's being planned. I'm very happy. I grew up in the town Savannah. I graduated from Detroit. I've seen people die, and I've seen people ignored. Reverend Smalls was a hero. Alicia Blakely is more man than, unfortunately, 99% of the male population. I don't mean that so disrespectful sense, but the point is, anything that we're going to get in Savannah, just like anywhere else in America, I'm sitting here in New Orleans. Same deal, different cuisine. We're going to have to fight for it. And sometimes it means turning to each other and saying that, hey, skin tone isn't the top. Your actions, your policies are going to judge whether or not you have community interest or not. Thank you very much for your time and keep fighting.
All right. Thank you, caller. Appreciate you calling.
I want to add something, and that's tied to what Reverend Small was talking about. One of the things I've shared with people for years, and I'm just going to be frank with you, even when I do our journeys, do our tours, I take people into Yamacraw. We go into Yamacraw, and I begin to talk about stuff in Yamacraw, and African Americans, Caucasians, Latinos, Native Americans, Asians, when I'm not talking about this, they trying to figure out how we have this happen here when we have Black political leadership. And I said, our leaders feel beholden to somebody else. Our leaders have fear. And that's how they operate, off of fear. They're afraid of other people, not understanding that they have the power right now. And I said, so what happened? For 20 years, we have Black leadership, but then we don't create new Black millionaires in the city. We don't create economic engines that help people. And I tell them it is tied to fear. And at some point, Black leadership, political leadership, got to stop being fearful. We see that across the board with regards to our political leaders. And I'm hoping that it begin to change, and that to the political groupings of these people, we don't get better based on that type of stuff that you all doing. We sink and go further down, and then you get afraid with the people who are now impoverished, marginalized, when now destruction begins to occur to all of us.
Amen.
Oh, well, I'll throw something else out there.
I thought Sandra was jumping in.
Yeah,
well, I was about to say, I lost my train of thought because, but what I was about to say is that I was going to speak on what the 5-man clique on the council is that I feel that everybody should. Well, first of all, Dietrich said that he he was going for Waters Avenue. That was his thing. He wanted Waters Avenue to be revitalized, and the second district, and where the Black people were. And I haven't heard him say anything about that area since nothing, and sidebar, I've even offered him my help for free. And y'all know that I get paid for what I do.
Amen.
But okay, so so that distresses me, and I feel like they should be voting on what is right. You don't vote on, just because Van says, oh, well, we're gonna, this is what I want to do, or this is what this is what I want you to do. No, vote on what is right. Vote on what you told the people you were going to do. Because just like I told Dietrich before, when he took office, I said, let me tell you something. Before you click up with Van, understand that the people are going to hold you accountable for what you told them. So, because Van already has his 16 years in, but when you're just coming in fresh, so the people are going to hold you accountable for your platform, and they're going to ask you, what did you do? And Van has a way of lying his way around, and he's been lining his paper. He has all. I mean, these people have him in their. Well, he either has these people in his pockets, or they have him in their pockets. Somebody's getting kickbacks.
They got him. We got a caller from the second district, that from his district. So you want to go ahead on, call up Miss Marilyn?
Oh, yes. I am Marilyn Jackson, and I do live in the second district. And I am truly not surprised of Van's action towards the African American community, because when he was the alderman for West Savannah, and I'm quite sure if Trevor Smalls is on now, he will remember this. I remember when Van turned his back completely on the West Savannah community when Charles Smith was shot. And I remember when we were out there marching and got sprayed by gas, and I am still suffering from that gas. He was the city council person, and he took the side of the people, the pilot, that sprayed over 175 people, including children, babies, and old women. And so that was the prime reason right there where Black people should have never, ever, ever put a Black man like that in position, but we did. And now this is what we are getting. I don't know why we thought Van was going to change. I thought he was going to change too. So I was like everybody else. I thought he was going to change. We should have kept the white boy in there, Eddie Deloach. That's how I feel. We should have kept him in there, because if he would have at least did something against the community, we could have hollered racism, and that would have scared him to death. But we can't call it. We can't say Uncle Tom don't even hurt Van's feeling. You know what I'm saying? So what I think we need to do as people, as Black people, I think we need to do a recall on Van, even if Van do not, even if we don't win the recall, just do the recall to embarrass him, so it can be down on paper that all these people were disappointed in his decision and how he treated Black people in the city of Savannah. And Reverend Smalls know how to do a recall, because Reverend Smalls and I and another woman, Solana Plains, we did a recall before on some people on the Board of Education, probably about 20 years ago. So we need to do that again to Van, because everything we have been doing to him, saying to him, Uncle Tom, don't bother him. I'm telling you.
No, it don't.
All of that don't work.
You're right.
It doesn't work with Van. So we got to get him. See, one thing about Van, he loves attention. He loves attention. He loves people to praise him. So we got to actually tear all that down. We got to tear his fame down. And how to tear his fame down is to just to do that recall.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's what and you're right. It's almost impossible under the law to recall an elected official in the state of Georgia, because the elected officials are the ones who made the rules for recalls. And so they made them hard to pull off in order to protect themselves from recalls. And when we did a recall on the school board people, it actually worked, because we knew we wouldn't get them recalled in that process, but we hit the issues so hard that when they ran the next time, they all lost. And that was the purpose of it. It was the
purpose of it.
But here's what I want you to also understand. He acts like it doesn't affect him. But like I've told people, I went to school. My final degree is in Christian psychology, human behavior. And I know, and because I'm a Black pastor of 37 years, I know how Black people function and how they behave. You cannot pastor in Thunderbolt in Savannah in Georgia among Black folk for 37 years not knowing Black people. Now here's the deal. This conversation right here is affecting him. Don't let nobody fool you. You can sit up there and act like it's business as usual, but that's a hot lie from hell. I'm telling you up front and ahead of time, I'm going to blitz him. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him like he slapped my mama. And my mama 99 years old. Okay. No, see, what people don't realize is you got to understand something. There are fighters, and then there are warriors. Okay? Fighters, sometimes the fight get too hot, they run. Warrior die before he turns. Okay, I'm in it for the long haul. I've been doing this 60 years. I started when I was 9 years old. I've been in jail 15, 20 times before I was 15 for civil rights. So here's what you need to understand. And then I went to prison as a grown man being fooled. So jail don't scare me. White folks don't do nothing in my mind. The police, bring them. Now, I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, that's the attitude we're going to have for the next 3 years. Because if we don't have that attitude, we will walk away with 3 years of zero.
That's correct.
Now, listen, I was trying, and you've heard me say it, I've been trying to find some common ground, some place where we can meet, where they at least allow items on council out in the open that are proposed by the 4 who they have blackballs on time. You got to remember, we elected 4 people to council who they don't let do anything. I'm a pastor. I counsel pastors when they got that one family in the church that run the whole church. And that's a church that's dysfunctional. That's a church that eats itself and won't grow. That's what's happening in Savannah. He's running the city council as if it's a church with a little family who's in charge of everything. And you can't sing in the choir if they don't want you to. You can't be an usher if they don't want you to. You sure can't be the one who hand the pastor the chicken if they don't want you to. All kind of foolishness. Right now, think about this. They're in a meeting. They're discussing the fairgrounds. They're saying they cannot put a sound stage on the fairground because of environmental reasons. They happen to go out by the fairgrounds. And at the same time, Michael Brown and them was telling them it couldn't happen. And there was a film team working on the fairground at the same time. Now,
unbelievable.
I've been telling Alicia and Keisha about cussing. And Alicia said to me, Pastor, we got to get off the phone because I got something I got to say. but listen, I'm telling you, listen to me, and listen, it's true. I'm a gospel preacher, and I'm against cursing, but I understand because I used to be a good cusser myself. I do understand. It's crazy. It's crazy to treat anybody with intelligence that way. And our Black community is being bamboozled by some of us saying they need to be quiet. You don't be quiet when somebody burning your house down. You don't be quiet when somebody keeping your child on the street. You don't be quiet when somebody got your head underwater. You don't be quiet when a knee's on your neck. You don't be quiet when they're hanging your brother, your sister in a tree. You don't be quiet when you're being discriminated against, downtrodden, persecuted, prosecuted, and treated like a dog. You don't be quiet. Because I don't want my grandchildren fighting this fight. Let's get this thing over.
And just to say something tied to, again, what my sister Shaundra was saying, and then Reverend Small, one thing people tend to fail to realize that when I say talk about leadership, political leadership, and Black leadership when they're in political positions, guess what happened during the society when Black folks are in charge of the government? Equity comes about for everybody. See, we don't go and marginalize people. We, in fact, make society even better. We've seen that. That's why, and I just share with folks that the public education system in Georgia began based on Black political leaders. That's what happened during Reconstruction. So you see your public school system, it came from Black folks now in government in the state of Georgia who now realize everybody got to be educated. They didn't just say Black folks got to be educated. They want to say everybody got to be educated. And that's what has happened. When you have Black folks in government, and especially when they are the majority or they're fully vested in it, they now know some of the most dynamic policies that benefit everybody.
Amen.
That's what happened. And I tell folks, that's what got to happen. Our political leaders got to understand they got to be themselves and stop trying to be characters of somebody else. And that's what goes on. Be the servant of somebody else. Be who you are, so then that way everybody benefits. And even those Caucasians that might be offended with you, what they start to do, they turn around and say, you know what? You know, we were against you, but you made it happen. And I'll throw this out there. I talked about Reverend Andrew Bryan, Father Andrew Bryan today. I talked about how he got persecuted, but now decades later, after they had whipped him, he got the scars on his back. They started running to him to now get him to talk to these Africans to do stuff. And I said, that's what happened. So our leadership, they don't even have a clue because they're novice and they need to be trained to understand. Now, I'm going to put out there, people have made a comment about Alicia and Keisha and Bernetta that they need to be trained. This is what they said before. They said this in December. So now guess what? I see, and I'm saying that we got leadership that need to be trained to understand that when you are yourself, you think for yourself, you now come with some of the most dynamic laws and policies to help everybody. And guess what? The people that were opposed to you gonna want to keep you in office.
That's correct.
Exactly.
That's correct. We want to thank everybody for watching. We got about 20 minutes left. Got about 20 minutes left. I want to thank everybody. Make sure you share. I talked all day, so if you don't see me talking, I talked all day on the Watchdogs. This is a special edition of the Watchdogs. We usually just come on at 12 noon every Saturday, but this was a breaking news story, and we wanted to get it in. It's been some comments, and I wanted to put a few of them up. Carl Murray said that the mayor needs to apologize to the black community as quickly as he apologized to the white community for attending the black media only meeting. Can you imagine the public outrage if he made those comments about the Jewish community? Carl,
Exactly.
you said a mouthful, Lynn.
I agree.
Nigel Ensign said,
I agree with Carl.
Van is only doing what he did for decades, placing others before the black community which elected him. He feels the community won't hold him accountable. I told people, this man disrespects us. He don't care about what we say because he knows that we're only going to pay attention for 1 to 2 days, and it's over. So he knows that.
Yeah, but he got the right string, but the wrong yo-yo.
Yeah, 7th district now, baby.
We finna break that up because guess what? We got all things relevant, buddy. We got ATR on time. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure you understand the effect of ATR on the African American community, which is the majority community, like you said. But the whites are never going to be marginalized. We're the marginalized community, and he was mixing metaphors, and he was doing it, playing like almost a con game. You know, okay, flipping the script on us. But I want to make sure you understand. We make whoever becomes mayor.
That's correct.
It's in our hands. And even though we didn't have all things relevant at its apex now, that it is now, wait till you see what it's going to be 36 months from now, 2.5 years from now, in the heat of the campaign. Buddy, make sure you hit. It's not going to be business as usual. I've been doing this for 60 years. I am more encouraged now by what we're doing, about this discussion, about not only what black folk are saying, but white folks are saying who are observing the same things. This whole community is aware of the fact that we have a council on a click. White folks know it as well as we know it. We have a community where black folk and white folk have seen that he's taken the city council and made it 5 people instead of 9.
Really? Really?
Everybody sees it.
He did do that. You are absolutely correct. He did do that.
And he did it from the
jump.
He did it from the very beginning.
From the jump.
You know, I mean, he separated that council before they could even take their oaths of office. You know, and that was what was so discouraging about the whole thing. You know, he never gave Bernetta a chance to even change the 1st district. You know, all the stuff that he didn't do in the 1st district for all those years, she has the competency to do, and he is tying her hands. You know, and those people over in the 1st district, God bless. Well, I'm very disappointed with Marsha Postel Buford, you know, for following up with Van, because she should be smarter than this. You know, she lives in that 1st district right there on Norton Street, and she knows that area hadn't been tended to in many years. You know, for him to be trying to put the Salvation Army over there instead of trying to bring economic development over there.
Watch this though.
Please.
You need to watch this. Unless there's a change of understanding as to the consequences, the Salvation Army will be there because the clique is in. Just like you watch this now. Just like today, early this morning, 2:00, the House of Representatives in Washington, not one Republican voted for the CARES Act, not one. And then when they get to the Senate, not one. You mean to tell me there's an idea that all 50 Republicans fail? I mean, every time?
Yeah.
No, that's not government, baby. That's not government. That's not people voting their conscience. That's people voting their political futures. And here's the thing. What they're believing is, you got to remember now, what they're believing is, and I want you to understand what's motivating them. Most people think, well, they're just trying to get and stay in good with Van. No. You're looking at another one of the puppets. You need to look at the puppet masters. The Chamber of Commerce gets about $10 million a year to help promote, develop white industry, commerce, and business. They're not, the whites are not the majority of the community, but they get a $10 million head start every year. Out of that, then some of the businesses who make millions of dollars donate money to campaigns. So where do you think Van raised all that, a couple $100,000 from? Same folk. Now, so he is not a puppet master. He's just he's the top puppet. And we need to recognize that these people are being bought and sold hand, fist, and everything every time they run.
And that's the comment I made earlier on my show at 12 noon. You know, he want to say that they're being marginalized and that they're the minority and that if anybody should have a task force is them. But they've been having a task force all their lives. They had the Chamber of Commerce, the biggest task force ever, when they were the majority, and now when they're the minority, they still got the chamber doing exactly what the good pastor just said. They got the Savannah media. All the media here is advocating for the white community. We don't have a problem with whatever they do. That's their business. But we should not support these businesses, and the chamber should not be getting all this money to do what they're doing. We need to be able to do it. There's a law that says that if you advertise 50 miles outside of the city, then you are entitled to some of that chamber money. We need to be seeing how we can get it. I don't know what the Black Chamber was doing. They were on to something. They were doing something. But when Van won, they got shut down. We haven't heard anything from them, virtually or anything. So what is happening? Has he shut them down too? Then you got the Overthought Club down there. They all are meeting every day. They got their advocates.
But they never got the money. The Black Chamber never gets the money. The Hispanic Chamber gets the money. Still getting money. How many? What's the Hispanic population? How they get money? We ain't getting no money.
Exactly.
Okay. Now
the Hispanic chamber get money.
The Hispanic chamber get money. Now, how is it that the majority of the citizens who are the most disenfranchised in the whole area, we get zero? Now and him talking about, we don't need a black task force. I got this. Negro, please. Who you talking to? You must be getting my name Willie Lump Lump. Don't do that to me.
You think all our name Willie Lump Lump?
No. Joe Baloney head. I need to make sure you understand. This is, my mama didn't raise no fool. My mama named Mamie. Any woman named Mamie don't raise no fools. And I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, we are getting hurt. No. Van is feathering his own nest and pumping out his own chest while we over here starving. We got almost 3 years. We got almost 3 years of not getting anything done. And I'm telling you, without a change of heart in the council, that's a click. In the click on council, without a change of heart, Salvation Army goes to the Weeping Times property. And wait a minute. Just watch this. You got to watch. And all the contracts, all the proposals for the fairground are going to be thrown out. Now, why are they going to be thrown out? because Michael Brown and whoever the powers that be don't want the people who are in the front to get it now. They don't want none of them to get it. They got a plan for themselves now. So they're gonna throw out just like they threw out the city manager search, and we end up with Michael Brown.
Yeah.
Where are they on that if he's supposed to be temporary? Where they at on that?
He said, and I told Alicia when Keisha when she first said it, she said, Pastor Mom, well, he said he's gonna wait till the first of the year to start. That was in like October. I said, wait till the first of the year for what? Well, I mean, why are you gonna wait 2 months to get started? Now that's 4 months ago. And ain't nobody talking about no search for no permanent city manager. You know why? Because, and then he lied, because he good at flipping. He almost good as Donald Trump. He good at flipping. So here's what he did. So he says, we're gonna get somebody the first of the year, we're gonna get started. Now it's never brought up. Now you go a little further and you say, well, we only got 2 years left. And so it's still never brought up. And now they got the chamber has their boy back, the one who know how to maneuver and flip the script and work the game. You know, they called me into a meeting. I had a video meeting with them a few days ago about crime. And they said, yes, Maul, yeah, Pastor Maul, we're going to do so-and-so. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to get back with you next week. That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. But I knew once he sold Van that we had some good ideas. We're going to try to work it. Kabash on that. You know why? Because he understands that the winning margin, the winning margins are going to be listening to all things relevant and tell it like it is. Make sure you understand where leverage lies. I've been doing this, like I said, for 60 years. They can't win without us, Julius. They're going to try to wait till the end and maybe take down a monument. I'll throw one of them Confederate pictures out of the city hall as if that make you black. While we starving. Mayor Johnson took a Confederate man's picture out of City Hall, and we never got the 2% in contracts of vending. Okay, you could have left that sucker up. Give us some money.
Exactly.
Leave us. I don't know. And people say, well, Pastor, you sound like you so material. No, we're talking politics. We ain't talking church.
That's right.
We're talking about what's supposed to happen from the political spectrum. They call every form of government, every institute, or every corporate entity in government a commonwealth. The reason the word wealth is in there, because governments handle money. And we've been putting it in and we're not getting any out. Again, I'm going to go back to it. How can you have 42 businesses getting money and 2 of them are black in a city that's 55% black? Wait a minute. And then you promise the people. They come up and they raise a sign. And you say, well, we're going to give y'all something, so and so and so and so. Wait a something. I'm telling you how he worked it. Make sure you understand. This is the deep psychology of it. Now, listen, I don't like it, but I recognize skills. When they were supposed to bring it back up about that money, that's when they put the ethics thing on Keisha. They flipped the script.
Yeah, they want to keep us distracted on something that's not worth it. So they can do all the little black door deals. That's why he keep all this stuff going now. He keep it all going just so that he can keep the public distracted. But we see what he's doing. But we need the people to wake up and understand that these women are advocating for you. They study what they do. They study. When they get those books, like my wife get her book here, they study that stuff. So when they get to those meetings, they know what to vote on. They know where to challenge. And Dietrich and Linda, they probably just get the book and Van already told them how, and that's what they do.
Van vote first.
Yeah.
Van vote first.
Be your own man. We sent you there to be your own.
Well, now see, and that's how I was going to get to. You know that there's a philosophy out there, and Reverend Smalls was talking about something with regards to what happened today in Congress. That people have gone and said, and this is coming from other politicians. They go and say to people that we don't send you there to do what's right. We send you there to follow our line, whatever that particular line is, that party line or whatever that particular thing. That again, we're not sending you here to do what's right. Now, which we all know that is absolutely insane. You are sent there to serve the people, to be a servant of the people. But some politicians go on to think that they are there to serve the party line or whatever agenda is of other people. And there's something in politics that is called the mother's milk. And what is the mother's milk of politics? Money. Money is the mother's milk of politics. So that's why for a lot of politicians, they are driven based on the money. And so they look at money down the road that they need with regards to the campaign. And something else to throw it out there, that what happens for us too is this, that we have often been given symbolic victories in politics. They know to give people symbolic victories, especially African Americans. Give them symbolic victories, and they ain't going to be concerned about tangible victories. Because guess what? How do you get the King holiday? The King holiday came from being signed by Ronald Reagan. What was going on with Reagan? Again, Reaganomics. We were not torn up economically, African Americans. But when Reagan does the sign off on the King holiday, guess what? Black folks now tend to forget about the horrors that was happening. So what I tell people, guess what? The same thing happens to us even on the local level. They give us symbolic things, and that's why I say with regards to the groupies and other people, they run because they get to have a tie and a connection to the political official. But now understanding that is symbolic. That's not tangible. And when you got people speaking out on tangible issues, that's what you focus on, not on any symbolic stuff. You don't focus on that somebody look good on television. You don't look at that. You look at what is happening to transform the lives of the people in this community. And as I said, African-American politicians will generally bring about equity and parity for everybody that benefits everybody. But when you are selfish, or you come to leaders of just like my sister Shaundra and everybody else is saying, you then only look out for that marginalized group of your people that still got the wealth, but the true marginalized people have nothing. And that's why I'm saying to us right now, and I'm saying to the people listening, we now must make a decision on the solution and bring about the change, which means that in some cases, we cannot have these same people in office anymore. We must make the drastic decision to get rid of people out of office. If you don't stand up for us as a public servant, understand we don't need you there.
Amen.
Exactly.
That is absolutely right.
That's personal. That is life. That is politics. Ain't nothing personal about this.
Yeah. We gonna still be friends, but I can't vote for you again.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's what they need to understand, that it's not about friendship. It's not about family. It's not about any of those things, because if you're a detriment to this community, then we need to do something with you. People keep telling us that we shouldn't be on here talking about black people. No, this is where we should be on here talking about it, because if they're a detriment to this community, then we will always speak out about it. As long as I'm here, we're going to speak out on it. So if
let me throw this out. But guess what? People talk about them at the Oglethorpe Club. So what? Just because we talk about it openly, guess what? It's done behind your back when they're at the Oglethorpe Club or when they're at the other clubs. So let's be for real about this. You're gonna tell me that when you abusing me, I can't say nothing about it? Yo, I need to say something about it so I can get help.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct.
You know, we got to use this platform as our own personal barbershops. And the barbershop and the beauty salons is where we discuss our business.
Amen.
You know, and you know, so and that's the problem with the Black community right now. We got too many secrets, and it's the secrets that's been killing us. You know, it's us not willing to say we are dying because, you know, Jeffro is not pulling his weight. You know, I'm so I'm here to say, if Jeffro is not pulling his weight, hey, Jeffro is still part of the family, but we gonna sideline Jeffro, and we'll replace him. You know,
That's right.
I mean,
that's a good analogy.
Until he can do better.
That's a good analogy.
You know, I've been observing us as a people, like I said, for over half a century, and white folks have an uncanny ability to either go find one of us to mess over us, or take one of us and turn them. This thing is so it's so intrinsic in the Black community that I had to quell many people who were castigating Alicia and Keisha for trying to stand up. And I needed to explain to them the mentality that you're coming from was inculcated into you doing slavery. And it was a time when they would tell you, don't look that white man in the eye. You be in the field, keep your head down. Don't look up. You're gonna get all of us in trouble. Don't tell that man we hot. Don't tell that man I'm about to pass out because I need water. You're gonna get all of us whipped. So just keep your head down, keep picking Master Cotton, and try to make another day, mister. Please don't, young man, don't do that. They gonna kill you. Okay, kill me.
That's right. That's right. I heard a story today.
Before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Oh my God, and be free.
That's right. I heard a story today. Well, somebody told me the story. He was a police officer in Atlanta. He said he was working and he was standing next to Bill Clinton when Bill Clinton was president. Bill Clinton came to visit the MLK Memorial there in Atlanta. Said that Bill Clinton said he don't know why Black people are so easy to buy. He don't know why Black people are so easy to buy. He said, I don't have to give them nothing. All I give them is my phone number. And then they are loyal as long as I pick up the phone.
Yes, sir. We've been sold out for chicken boxes. We have been sold out for a chicken box.
And we love, again, the symbolism. That's why I talk about political groupies, and I'm going to share this. I first talked about political groupies with Victor Cooper, the late Victor Cooper, and I at times. So we got a bunch of political groupies here, and they run along, and they are happy that their friend, their church member, their relative is in this particular political office, but they do nothing at all, and they're still happy. And then some of them are friends with them, and so those people then go. And because they just in the atmosphere, they're all right with that. But then we still experience the pain. And just want to throw something out there with regard to what my sister Shaundra said, just to give you an example about how we got to be making changes. One of my relatives is getting a family matter. So I went to go see one of my relatives today. And so, and they're in the hospital. And so they had asked me to do something, and I knew I couldn't do it. Because I'm like, I'm not the nurse, I'm not the doctor. And so what my relative told me, like, if you can't do this for me, get the hell out. And I was like, okay.
I love it.
And so I'm like, I was busting out and laughing because he was like, say, you can't do nothing for me, so get on out of here. I asked you to do this right here. You don't want to do it, get out. And that's what gotta happen. That again, no longer symbolic stuff, no longer groupies. If you can't do anything for us, we need you gone. And again, and it's not anything personal. We are in such a desperate time and desperate straits with regards to our people that we need people who are going to be vigilant for us, be a part of the vanguard to help our people excel and help our society excel.
You know, and what I don't like is them buying into the narrative that just because Alicia and Keisha and Bernetta are speaking out, and Dr. Shabazz, they're speaking out and speaking up, you know, that this makes them angry Black women, because that's the other thing that Van likes to do, you know, because secretly he has no respect for women, you know, and Black women, you know, so he'll label them in a second, to being angry and uncontrollable and all of this, when they're just trying to speak their truth, and what is true is that our people are suffering because we are doing nothing.
Amen.
And if not now, when? And if not us, who? And
And I'm not here, where?
That's correct. That's
yeah.
correct. Vanessa Taylor is remembering the inauguration day. She said, I'm reflecting back on inauguration night, remembering the energy of change and hope, something that makes you go, There's so much we didn't know, still don't know, and won't know. But there's a God that sits high and looks low. When folks show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Done.
And how God want us to take action when we now understand and see the truth. That's the gospel. When we see it, we go forward with it. And that's what we should be doing. And so no longer sitting back and just watching, let it happen. That now, again, begin strategizing, planning, and let folks know. We will forgive you. We will allow you to redeem yourself, but you got to be a part of the action right now. We got to see it. We don't want no lip service. We want to see the action to now rectify the wrongs that you participated in, that you caused. And that again, and as you said, Brother Julius, it's not about us forgetting after 2 days. We remember, as Reverend Small said, for the next 3 years. So then that way, when you do run for office, we're going to call you out. I'm going to go back to a time when Piccolo called out Joe Bell and said to Joe Bell, at a political forum, Joe Bell, why you ain't buy me no coffee? And bam,
it was over.
Got flustered. And so some of us laughed at it, but he was putting it out there. And so again, we're going to call you out. Why you ain't buy us no coffee? Why you ain't look out for the Black community? Why you ain't look out for the people who needed you?
That's right. That's right. That is so right. Well, we got about 7 minutes because I was going to go to 9:15 because I didn't want to cut anybody off, and y'all are giving out so much great information. We got 7 minutes. We're going to stop at 9:15 or so, and I just want to thank all y'all for being here. We're going to be talking about this for the next week or so. We're trying to see whether the mayor, he doesn't think that he needs to apologize to the Black community, so he won't be issuing an apology because he takes us for granted, I believe. So we have to show him that there is a 7th district. I know everybody here keep hearing me saying this, but there is a 7th district, and there's the people that comprise everything that are going to be the game changers all over the county, who will come into the city and make those things happen. Pastor Small has made a promise to you, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure his promise is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that y'all need to force him the same way that those white folks forced him into issuing an apology. I think that the 7th district needs to force him into issuing an apology, by bringing his words to the forefront.
Well, I'm asking him to do one thing. I'm asking him to do something that's going to choke him to death. I'm asking him to make a speech at some point in time soon, since he said what he said about not needing a Black task force in a city with this many Black folk living under the poverty level. I believe that he needs to make a speech in support of Black Lives Matter. Anything short of that, kiss the baby. Because I'm telling you, it is, in my estimation, it is impossible for him to make that speech. He's too scared of white folk. And I'm not saying that because I'm against white folk, because I'm not. I've got best friends that will blow your mind. I'll give you for instance. The man who is defending, the lawyer defending the guy who took the video in the Ahmaud Arbery case, he's one of my best friends. He went up to the Milledgeville with me the other day to close out a settlement where the county, Baldwin County, had to pay a young man that a sheriff shot wrong. And we finished that case day before yesterday. And listen, that same Republican lawyer is a friend of mine. I tell him he's racist. He's a friend of mine. I tell him he's a fool for even thinking Trump was ever going to be anything. He's still a friend of mine. So this is not about hating white folk. This is about doing black folk right. This is about being able to speak the truth to power. This is about making sure that you stand up when it's time to defend the disenfranchised, the unfettered, those who have been left behind, pushed, not fell through the crack, who was pushed through the crack. It is time for us, those of us who have some wit, some intelligence, some material possibilities, to invest in us, to make sure that we don't simply sit down in our lazy boys and look at big screen TVs and wait for the next generation to fight this same battle. I walked in front of City Hall. This hurts my heart. In front of City Hall to stop them from stealing $49 million a year from the taxpayers of Savannah, Georgia. Bought the signs, put signs on my front and back, and marched up in front of City Hall. I looked up, and coming toward me was my grandson and my granddaughter to march with signs. 60 years ago, I marched with signs 3 blocks down the street in front of Bargain Corner at 9, 10, 11 years old. Why are we still doing this? Because we got to.
That's correct.
And don't tell me I want to do this. Don't tell me, well, Pastor Small, you want to be seen. Toure, you want to be seen. All Julius, you want to be seen. Don't tell me that. You just want to be on TV. You must have hit your head on a rock or something. Are you crazy? Every time you're on TV, people talk about that like a dog. People you're trying to help.
Julius.
We're not out here trying to get anything done personally.
Yeah.
We're out here trying to help our community rise from the dust of degradation and segregation and slavery and being dominated by people who don't care about us. But we're winning some of them now because when Black Lives Matter marched, we were black, white, old, young, Jew, Gentile. We can be better, but we are retarded in Savannah. We are behind the trends of this nation, with a city council, with a black superintendent of schools, with a black DA, with a black chief of police, with a black chairman of the county commission, and we still ain't getting no money.
Yeah.
We got a question for you, Pastor. It said, where do the other pastors or ministers stand in regards to how past the smallest thing, because it's going to take volume, it's going to take people, it's going to take congregations if we can get the people on board, because so much is at stake. We need to get the people born on it. It's too much stake. 3 years from now, we will lose our lot. Does need to be turned around now. It does need to be.
Charlie,
I want to say something. I want to throw something out there because this is what I was going to propose. What I would like to see, I would like to see a show with Julius Hall, Reverend Dr. Leonard Smalls, Reverend Thurman Tillman, and Mayor Van Johnson on. I would like to see a watch show with the 4 of y'all together. And so I'm throwing it out there right now. So I'm putting it out there publicly. So I'm saying to the groupies, the supporters, everybody, that now that show needs to happen. Again, Reverend Dr. Leonard Smalls, Reverend Tillman, Julius Hall, and Mayor Van Johnson, and now let that conversation suit. So we need to be, that's what I want to push right now.
You may as well ask for Muhammad Ali, Moses, and Martin Luther King to get out the ground. You may come on, but let me answer the question. Let me answer Charlie's question, okay? And let me say it as succinctly as I can. Too many of my ministerial brothers are wannabes. They want to be seen. They want to be close to the mayor. They want to be in line for a grant or a stipend. Too many of my brothers are for sale. Not all, because here's some news for ATR. I've been touting, and I've talked to the mayor, and the meeting I had with the city manager a few weeks ago that we promised we're gonna hurry up and do something, and we ain't hurrying up and doing anything, was about that TWIC program things that I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. I bought cards yesterday for kids, for young people, not children, but 25, 30 years old. But watch this. A few of the ministers, because all of them aren't in just what they can get out of it. A few of the ministers called me and said, Pastor Small, we are aware of what happened at that meeting, and we are hurt that you're still doing this off your own strength. So a few of the ministers have called and said they would go to their churches or go into their own pockets and buy some of the cards with me. Now, I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years, but we still got too many wannabes. Jesus came after 42 generations, and he ran into no good preachers, people who were for sale. Now, folks attempt, well, don't talk about the preachers, Pastor. You a preacher. You're making the ministry look bad. Jesus called them hypocrites and snakes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, right. And the question has gone out. What would Jesus do? I'm doing what Jesus would do. I'm calling them hypocrites and snakes. If they are trying to feather their own beds and not seeing about the community, snake, rattlesnake, garter snake, snake. I don't care. We need, particularly as ministers, because we get our living from us. I don't have to go to white folks. I got a few white folks in my congregation, but I don't have to go to the white community for anything. Litway lifted me up. Now I got other businesses and stuff now, but from that ground level, my foundation, Litway Missionary Baptist Church. So I can speak out because I don't want the kids from Litway to have to do this fight. Black ministers have led every major turn in our history as a people. They met General Sherman and come up with 40 acres and a mule. Now, back there, they were slave. Their preachers were slaves still. Those guys had just put on some bib overalls and some coats and went to meet General Sherman and told him what they required. You mean to tell me I can't tell a man what I require? You must be crazy. No, I'm gonna tell them exactly what I require. Fairness. I require equity. I require that we don't promote 22 policemen to corporal and only 2 of them be black in 2021. 17 to sergeant and 3 of them are black. That's 5 out of 39. And then the other day, your new recruitment class was about 19 and only 2 of them were black. We're in Savannah. If you got that many, if you're doing that much with white police, do you realize you're getting ready to get us beat to death?
Exactly. Exactly, Pastor. They don't even realize what they're bringing on us. And when they're gone, then they'll be out complaining about what happened to us. But they put the system in place. They put this process in motion.
They'll set it up for the next 30 years.
Yeah. So I guarantee you, Pastor. 1 minute, Jamal, you next. I promise you. I just want to say this because I forgot. I'm getting old. I guarantee you, if you check where these people are from that they're hiring, 90% of them never lived in this county. 90% of them just moved. They just got here. 90% of them never lived anywhere near Chatham County.
We're going to end up with them Proud Boys. Okay? We're going to end up with them Proud Boys.
Yeah.
Don't fool yourself now.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
you
right.
can't trick me. I know chicken from fat back, and I know fat meat greasy. You can't fool me. I know where this is going, and we're gonna have. What happened to the young man that got beat up by the police last year?
I think they paid him.
Huh?
Will Claiborne handled that case. I think they paid him. You remember that, Jamal?
They paid him, but what happened to the police to beat him up?
Oh, I don't know. He probably still on the department.
Yeah.
They fired him. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, those two. Yeah, okay.
After 3 months and a half, they finally woke up and say somebody gonna quit. When they had to bring the video before a special committee, and then made the people on the committee say they wouldn't reveal what was happening on the video. Mm-hmm. Now y'all don't need to know how I know that, but I know that. But now watch this. The mayor saw it, and the city and city manager and all them saw it. The police chief saw it. The DA saw it. We got a new DA now. I want to see it. I want to see how they whip that ball on my tax dollars. Yeah, and I want because I want to know whether or not they're gonna do justice. Because I know they don't do justice. Because when the fire captain pointed a gun at a man's face, which is aggravated assault. You know, Julius, you used to be the popo, so that's aggravated assault. Now watch this. They took the man to the jail, charged him with a misdemeanor. I raised saying they raised it to a felony. They took him to court. They put a big thing in the paper saying it was 15 years. But then if you read down a little further, it was 15 years probation and 2 years to serve. But it got worse than that. Because they thought once it was in the paper, we stopped looking. Right. But they don't understand. My mama taught me how to read. So 2 months later, I went down and checked to see if he was at the Georgia State Penitentiary. Okay, because I've been to the penitentiary. I know how you can check it. So I checked. He ain't there. He ain't been there. So I checked with the jail. He never left the jail to go to the penitentiary. He went back to court a couple of weeks later, and while nobody was looking, the judge, they didn't go. Aggravated assault, all in the paper, everybody satisfied, and he's smart enough to walk away with his head down and don't let nobody know. See you later, bye. Like a runaway slave. He done got away from Master Chain Gang. I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, this is what's going on consistently. We've got young men in our county jail on our taxpayers' dollars. We got young men, one young man on one charge of stealing a car. He's been in the county jail for 3 years and 2 months. And he has not been offered a deal. He's not been taken to court. And he is 3 years in the county jail. And I paid to have a bond hearing and never got an answer from the judge. Not yes, not no, nothing. That boy is rotting in jail. Now, that's just, he's not the only one. He's not the only one. This is a sentence. This is the census. I went and got a census for the whole jail. I did this a few months ago. About 50 people fit in that category. In the jail, no probation, no parole holds, not sentenced, sitting in jail for 2 and 3 years in a nation where you have a right to a speedy trial.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Jamal.
I'm done.
You were saying something, my brother.
Yeah, what I was saying was Hall, Small, Johnson, Tillman. Hall, Small, Johnson, Tillman. I'm putting it out there. That's what we need.
Well, whenever y'all get ready to do it, I'm sure me and the pastor be available. If we could put it in prime time and you can moderate it and we could sit there and ask the questions It's not about character assassinating these guys. We just want answers for the community.
I wish we could. I wish we can reconcile. I wish we can have some peace. I wish we can get a consensus.
You know, it was a case. Oh, go ahead, Jamal.
I guess I'll go ahead and do it. I was trying to put it on Brother Small to go ahead and do it, but I'll go ahead.
He ain't gonna come to talk to me.
I'll contact them and ask and say, hey, and this be a community thing. And then because we all know how to be civil, so it ain't nothing personal. It's just we want to have this conversation. And as a part of, we can try to rectify, redeem. That was about redemption. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, you work on that and let me and the pastor know. Vanessa saying one day last week, I was just about to say this here, but I was trying to give, the pastor was speaking about the jail system and the fairness of it, and then I wanted to get you in, but I was just about to say this, Vanessa. Last week, I know Pastor Smalls, you know the Icaboses.
I remember.
I remember George when I was a little boy.
Yeah, I know George.
George had all the pool tables and billboards, billiards games and everything, and I still do. I mean, they still do have all that. But his grandson pointed the gun at the police the other day. Pointed the gun at the police.
Aggravated assault on a police officer. Aggravated assault on a police officer.
They did not shoot and kill him. And he walked back in the house after he pointed the gun at the police officers that was out there.
Did they arrest him?
Yeah, they went back. They arrested him after a family member came and talked him out. They shot up the house in Kentucky with Breonna Taylor. I think it's her name, Breonna Taylor. They shot her house up.
Kicked the door down and shot the house up.
I mean, I don't want the kid to be dead. I've been knowing his family for 50 years, since I was 9 years old. You know, but it just shows the unfairness. Go ahead, Jamal.
But if you know the family, guess what? That's the grandson. But guess what? The son's also committed offenses too in downtown Savannah. And guess what? And it wasn't much done about that. So when I heard about it, I just like, this is just a continuation. But guess what? That doesn't apply to us. And so I'm saying to other people, there's some other people know what Kim them are involved in and what they did, and how ain't nobody pushed the issue about that on them. Yeah.
Yes, Jamal. Let's move forward with it. We got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Nadra Enzi said, Lisa Miller said, what about Maddie Smiley Wallace grandson in Nottingham Woods? Yeah, that was a case too. They pointed the gun and they shot and killed him, but we die. We die every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They kill him.
Yeah. So you know, we gonna let me see. It was one more up here, and they say small hall all in. They say that what that means. Small hall all in.
Yeah, we all in.
ALL. Small and the hall. ALL. Our last name. That stands for all in. So Jamal, you can get the rest of it done, and we have no problem with talking. I like for him to have a conversation with those alderwomen in front of everybody. I like for him to have a civil conversation with those alderwomen in front of everybody. None of the no rules of the county of the city council. Talk to the people in front of the people. Let us see what the hell is going on. They can all be in there as long as it's open to the public. They can all be in the same place. So we need to see what we can get done with on that front. You know, it's just an atrocity that we are not doing what we need to be doing.
Hey guys, just want to tell you, love you guys. I'm on the road trying to make it through this Houston traffic. I will get up with you guys later. Love you guys back in Savannah. I'll be back in Savannah in the next 2 weeks.
Big time people get to travel. Big time people always get to travel.
I'm out.
All right, Sandra.
All right, sis.
Okay, so I thank you guys for really coming in and informing the public. We appreciate it. Y'all know that y'all can call me for anything. And you get it together and call Pastor Smalls so we can know. Pastor Smalls had that set up already through another pastor who thought he could get it set up. But when Pastor Smalls said, I'll come to the meeting, but only if Julius can come with me, the meeting was canceled. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt him. I'm just going to ask him the tough questions. I know that Pastor Smalls is going to ask some tougher questions. So we'll see. If you could get it done, Jamar, let us know.
I'll put it out there. Yes, sir.
I'm ready when you're ready.
All right.
All right. All right. Well, I thank you, brothers. This has been a special edition of the Watchdogs. We'll bring these things on whenever there's a breaking news story that we need to do. Whatever is up that week, we'll bring another edition of it. Just so happened that it fell on the Watchdogs hour. So we'll bring you the news as we see it every time. That's what we do here. And y'all stay tuned to All Things Relevant Media. We're trying to get the news to you. Yes, social media is the news. It is our news because we're reporting it like it should be. We tell the truth. We let it be known. We showed y'all the video. And we've also put the whole video of the mayor speaking because it was said there was a lot of other ugly stuff in there that y'all need to watch. So go out and watch it. Share it with people around the country. Maybe CNN, MEC, MSNBC, somebody, Roland Martin, somebody will get it so that we can get this mayor to give us, the nation, an understanding of why there needs not to be a black task force in a city that's got a poverty rate as high as it is, an unemployment rate as high as it is. We just need some answers, Mayor. And and the mayor, somebody put up say that they want the mayor on the show. If he don't want to get with Jamal, he don't want to get with the good pastor, then he has an open invitation to come on any of our shows. Even if you want to just get with Jamal yourself on Run Tell That on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, y'all go ahead and take that hour and do what y'all need to do. Matter of fact, y'all can start at 5 o'clock and take 2 hours if you want. So let's get that done.
Actually, we just wanted to be a watchdog show and have the 4 of y'all there. That's what I want to do. So that's why I'm going to pitch that. And so saying to have the 4 of y'all. So yes.
Okay, but they might not like me moderating. And you're going to need the moderator so it can be some control. Because me and the pastor go off and we need to be pulled back.
What you say? The preacher ain't got no self-control.
That's
why I'm just saying that to say the 4 of y'all be right there, and then we gotta have the moderator be right there, but the 4 of y'all, so it can be a real dialogue, have a real conversation. So yeah,
that'll work.
Make it happen. Make it happen, and we'll do it, and we'll go from there. Love everybody. Love you two guys especially, and we'll see y'all on the next run. Our next show will be tomorrow night with Anthony Maben, 7 o'clock. It is Voices in the Struggle, talking about relationships. I think married couples tomorrow. So y'all stand by. I believe it's still on for tomorrow. I haven't heard from Anthony. Anthony, maybe if you're watching, give me a call, brother. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Love you.
All right. Love you too. Yes.